Hello, everyone. I am making a new tutorial for Rack to Any percent. My last tutorial is about a year and a half old, and since then, a lot has happened into the route. And on top of that, some personal differences have been made. As for one, you can tell I have input display. And I also am playing in 4x3, which I'll go into whenever I start the actual like in-game play. Um, so. I will preface real quick. This is by far one of the most punishing category uh because of the fact that it's relatively short and optimized. With other categories like no IMG and NG plus, it's relatively easier to get into. While other categories like APB as well as max percent and PBSPI, the categories are a bit longer, so mistakes are not nearly as time consuming if uh if you make a mistake. But with any percent, it is a fine mixture of difficulty as well as optimization. So hopefully with this guide, the people that want to get into this category, I know Zem just started playing this category and he's already adapted very well to it. And it's sparked a couple people into being interested in the category. So I thought I should make this video. Um, I will also preface before we start that I am playing on the PS3 on the European version. Um, I'll get more into that whenever we start the in game. But the two main things that you want to know are to play on 4x3 and to play on the European version. So when it comes to loading a file or making a new game, I will show my options and settings. But you want to make sure that when you start an attempt, whether you're streaming or recording, to show that the file has 0 bolts and that it has full ammo on both weapons. It doesn't matter if you skip the cutscene or whatnot. The timing is based off of when the first input is being done. Um, and I will show my settings. Some of them are personal and some of them are for optimal reasons. That was very odd. I don't know what that was. Okay. So I recommend turning these two off. There's some moments where the prompt will pop up and usually it will eat a triangle input, but there are some sections where it's just like completely obstructive of what you want to pull off in a run. There's going to be moments where you have to remember you have to think in your head, oh, there's going to be a help desk voice line. I have to press triangle once to cancel it. And I'll go into those whenever the time comes. Um, this, however, you want to make sure that you do. Vibration is completely optional, but quick select pause is not necessary at all. And it just it stops the cycles in which you want to play out. Um, and you want your camera rotation on fast. These two are just preference. I prefer reverse, but you could be normal if you want. So, and with that said, now that I've shown you everything that you need to do, and by the way, I will show that I have full ammo on both. Um, you're going to start off this run with just base movement because we don't have Clank. Where you jump, there's a buffer that you can do. You can be either at the same time or a little bit after, but you should not do it before so you don't end up crouching. Which is X and then R1 and then a side. And you'll notice with my input display that I can show this off. I am stupid. I am also stupid. There we go. Okay, sorry. I haven't played this category in a minute. But essentially, you just jump and make sure that you are buffering your R1. So that way you can get more momentum per jump. This is faster than running by a bit. And the way that you're going to play out the first couple levels is basically a run and gun. I will spoil that we are not going to upgrade the Lancer. We do not need to worry about upgrading this at all. We mostly want to prioritize the gravity bomb for XP purposes. And bolts are also, and this was one of the big changes between my old and new guide, is that bolts also are not nearly as important because of a trick that we'll get into in several minutes from now. So we're going to play this out as if it's a run and gun. We're going to just run past enemies. I'm not going to be extremely specific with some tricks. Like, for example, you want to kill this enemy, and you can come up here to the ladder. But if you want to be really, like, swag, you could try doing... there's a little time frame where you can actually jump off of this little pipe, like so, and you can hyper strike up here. That doesn't save almost any time. It only saves about like a second. So again, moments like those, I won't try to cover because that is a little bit difficult to pull off. Luckily with that one, it's the first actual like movement trick in the run, so you can just reset. But moments like those, I'm not going to cover for the sake of acting as if everyone watching this is a beginner. So to carry on. We're going to prioritize the Lancer in the beginning, but when we see large groups of enemies by each other, we're going to pull out the gravity bomb, like this upcoming right here. We're going to try to center it so that the gravity bomb will hit most of the enemies. Kill 3 right there. And what we're going to do in this next room is some tech. We're going to shoot a gravity bomb and then wrench swing right after, so it resets the cooldown for your gravity bombing shot. One there, and one right here, and we're good. By the way, I apologize if I sound really congested right now. It has been really cold, and I think I'm starting to actually get sick. Anyways, you don't need to kill these enemies if you, but you can if you want, just to be safe with XP. But these enemies you do want to kill with a gravity bomb. Now you want to pull out the Lancer and just run through. We want to be a little bit conservative of our ammo because in Endako we're going to be prioritizing, in Maktar, we're going to be prioritizing our gravity bomb ammo so that we do not run out of ammo mid-arena. So Oozla is a very similar planet to Aranos. We're going to just practically run and gun. This is the first clip in the run, and my setup for this is I usually aim right where this leaf is, right here. Sorry for my stick drift. This leaf right here, you want to kind of look towards that, and all you want to do is perform a macaroni. I don't know if I had mentioned it, but XR1, the XR1 buffer trick is called a macaroni. We're going to macaroni facing this leaf, and we're going to keep holding right on the left analog stick. And you're going to clip through. What you want to do now is just jump on top of this little rock, jump on top of this rock, jump on top of this rock, jump on top of that, and come around through this mountain. We're going to try to break some of these ammo crates because ammo is very important in the early game. I am having a skill issue. Again, killing his enemies is not super necessary. And bolt routing wise, you don't really need to worry about it. You want about like 3.5k going into Endako, but it's hard to tell from this early on. But it seems like my bolts are about as much as they need to be. I died on purpose because I realize I'm talking slower than I'm performing. So you make your way over here, and what you saw earlier was I land on this leaf, or I come from this leaf, and then actually it's the leaf back here, and it's a little bit faster to get into the continue point area. Whether it's 1 or 2 jumps, it's fine. It's faster than watching the animation play with the swamp monster. So this trick is your first skip, not as opposed to your first clip, but we're going to look to the right side, to the right wall, over here. We're going to look almost directly where we need to go in order to perform the skip, and we want to make sure that we double jump as late as possible and hyper strike right before we're about to land in the mud. If you are too close to that arm, your wrench will lock onto it. So if you're not far, if you're not far enough to the right or you're too close to it, it will lock on. So I'm trying to make sure that my camera is more tilted to the right and that I am past the arm whenever I perform my hyper strike. You want to make your way over here. You can skip the dynamo. There's no point in the run in which we're going to use it. And we're going to perform a macaroni right here. And then hyper strike right afterwards. And we come over here. I'm gonna kill these fireflies. I also recommend that you do as well. They're probably gonna attack you or make your wrench lock onto them. We're going to perform a macaroni right here on this edge, around the rim of this circle, or it's not exactly a circle, but we're gonna jump right around here, perform a macaroni, and go to our left, and try to hyper strike so we get enough height that we can get on top of this platform. Easy as that. If that is a bit too hard, what you can do instead is jump off of. There is a little part that you can wall bounce on this. I'm not exactly sure what this is. This little like pod thing. It looks like a cabbage, but you can wall jump off of that and ledge grab right here if that is giving you a bit of trouble. And you can kill these fireflies, and this is going to be one of the first hard tricks in the run. So I'm going to try my best to explain it. My controller's having stick drift. Let's be real here. Okay. So, right here is the room that we want to hit the cutscene in for shop clip. Imagine that that there's a square tilted, or I guess like a diamond shape. But imagine that there's like a square tilted 45 degrees inside this square right here, the square room that we're going to try to get close to. And we want to be as far left as possible. Where this black line is, right here in the middle of the screen, that's where kind of where we want to be at whenever we perform this clip. Okay, so we're going to jump from right here, from this little gray square on this right corner, mid-right section. And we're going to jump a little bit angled to the left. And when we clip through, Ratchet is going to, we're not going to see Ratchet for a bit because the camera's stuck on the wall. And we'll get more into why that happens. But basically, you want the camera to clip out through the wall, and then what we're going to do is hyper strike, because we want to be as late as possible into our hyper strike without losing too much height. Like that. That clip takes a lot of practice to get down. Just try to mirror my angle very, very slightly to the left, and try to perform that macaroni from that little part. There's a lot of variance in it, and I'm very accustomed to the gimmicks that happen with that little clip. But I really do promise it is not nearly as tough as people make it out to be. It can be annoying. It definitely can be annoying. However, it is a trick that you just need to practice and understand that you need to be farther to the left, lay on the hyper strike whenever you clip through, and just the angle in which you want to go. I see a lot of people though they'll either be really far to the right, or they'll look really far to the left. They'll either be way too far to the right position-wise or way too far to the left camera angle-wise. So you want to be almost straight with that wall. So we're going to do a crouch jump side flip. Or a crouch jump side, I worded that weird. A crouch side flip right here. And hyper strike to get around. And now we're going to perform another skip where we press. When I get in this, I am on SSC, which affects this. But you'll notice right before I go into the menu, there's a moment where you see the capsule and the almost like where the cup holders would be right here, where in the middle of my crosshair. You want to press triangle when that pops up, and press down when the screen goes black. It's hard to do first try, but with practice, that is a very easy skip. It's hard to pull off first try every time, but I guarantee it is a lot easier than people make it out to be. So Maktar is going to be almost identical to the other 2 points that we have done. We're going to do a running gun, but we're going to make sure that when we enter the arena, that we have 8 gravity bomb ammo. I prefer shooting these boxes. I think it's also more optimal because we're going to pass through that thug anyways. You can also use a gravity bomb right here because it is a group of enemies. You don't want to use your gravity bomb as much as possible. You don't want to use your gravity bomb on smaller waves of enemies. You want to mostly do it when there's about 4 enemies surrounding you, or if the enemies give you a lot of XP per kill. There is a skip that you can do. Again, saves minimal time where you just jump a little bit earlier and double tap X a little bit later to try to get on top of. You would usually land on this, but if you elongate your X jump enough, you can actually land on this one instead. It saves like a second and a half, and you want to jump a little bit earlier. I could try to go for it, but if not, it's perfectly fine to just do it as normal. I'll try to perform it. I didn't get it. That's perfectly okay with me. I'm going to go to the left side and shoot these crates down to get ammo as well as bolts. And I pulled my gravity bomb right here because those thugs give you a lot of experience. You can also pull out your gravity bomb right here. I prefer really not to, just because there's and it's one of the first instances of the triangle input being eaten because of the help desk prompt. But if you tap the gravity bomb 3 times or triangle 3 times, the gravity bomb will be pulled out instead of the 2 as usual. So, and also the other reason why I don't really prefer doing that is because you're down 1 gravity bomb ammo. So, it's up to you. I'm going to kill these enemies, and I'm going to just shoot. You can shoot a gravity bomb right here if you want. And if you're really low on ammo, like if you're at like 4 or like 3, 4 or 5, even 5, just buy ammo right here at the vendor. I'm going to see what I get out of here. 7 is fine. Because when I enter the arena, any ammo that I haven't gotten yet that I've destroyed, any ammo boxes that I destroyed that I didn't get the ammo for, they're gonna latch onto me. I'm not exactly sure if I got. Yeah, see, I got 9 Lancer ammo. Now it's not 1 gravity bomb, but that's fine. So the way this is going to work is round 1. If I had 8 bombs, I'd play this a bit differently. You have to kind of be a little bit according to what the game has given you. I prefer to use, now that I have 7 ammo, my route will be to kill. There's going to be, so round 1, there's going to be 3 pods that the enemies come out of. Now the pods are actually based off of where your camera is facing. So if you have 2 pods in front of you, you're going to have the 2 pods come out and then 1 pod come out. So what you can do to supplement the lost gravity bomb is kill one of the pods with the Lancer, and preferably it's within the first 2 pods that come out, so that way by the time the second one comes out, you have already killed 1 pod of enemies by then. If you use the Lancer, it doesn't take that much time up, like an extra second or 2, but that's ideally where we're going to go for. Rounds 1, 2, 4, and 6, we're going to definitely prioritize our gravity bomb ammo. You can tamper a bit with round 5 depending on how much ammo you have, or if you break a crate within the arena. But I'm gonna try to play this out as if I only have 7 gravity bomb ammo. So right here, I'm going to use the Lancer. I'm not exactly sure why that enemy was invincible, but it's fine. I actually got it confused. It's round 2 that 3 pods come out, but it's fine. So this is where I would use the Lancer. And I had a nanotech upgrade, which is fine. But I would kill those enemies with a gravity bomb anyways. And right here is whenever you want to use the Lancer, because there's no point in using the gravity bomb. Only like 2 or 3 of those blade enemies come at you. 3 pods will come out from here. So 1, 2, 3. And then if you have gravity bomb ammo, more gravity bomb ammo than usual, you can use the gravity bomb right here. And then kill this enemy with the Lancer. And then kill these plate enemies. Turn around the camera. And another pod will come out. You want to wait for the enemies to come out before shooting another gravity bomb. Like this. So we're going to instantly leave the arena. And I'm going to... the electrolyzer is very easy. And I do have 4,000 bolts right now, which is, like I said, usually where you want to be at. Or where you're usually at. I'm going to warn you all that this is one of the hardest planets in the run. Not Maktar, the upcoming world in Endako. And that it is probably going to be the biggest run killer in the early game next to Barlow and Feltzin, which we'll get into. Those two are very infamous, but any person in Endako can also be a very big run killer if you don't play it well. And it is also the part of the run that has been the most optimized between my last guide and now. So I'm going to kill the enemies here with the Lancer. And by the way, if you have a gun out, I believe it's... I can't think of it because I just kind of do it like second nature. But if you have a weapon out and you use the electrolyzer, that's preferred, because if you have your wrench out, the electrolyzer will take the spot of your weapon, so you have to pull out both your weapons again. So I believe that's the case. You can watch what I did earlier, because I don't quite remember like off of saying it, but I believe that's what I did. We're gonna go to Endako, and if, I will say, like, on my own terms, that I am having really bad stick drift, so I really hope this does not tamper with anything. There are going to be edits in the run or in this guide where I'm going to fix that issue, but here we are on Endako. I have 3 gravity bomb ammo, which is perfectly fine. If you are at 2, that's also okay. You want to be at around 3 or more. But if you are at 2 or 1, then you want to buy a gravity, especially if you're 0, of course, you want to buy gravity bomb ammo, because this is going to be one of the main plants where we level it up from. We're not going to kill this laser enemy coming out of here. Instead, we're going to ignore him, and we're going to perform our first cam flip. So I said earlier that the camera gets stuck in Oozla because it gets stuck on the wall because the camera is actually a physical object in this game. So what that means is we are able to use the camera to either clip us through, because it's going to be at a certain level of a wall to where we can clip through with the camera. Or if we're late, as I'm going to perform, if you're late on it, you actually gain height. You don't clip, but you will gain height. So we're going to go into this corner, and this one is a bit finicky. But we're going to go into this corner. We're going to crouch, turn Ratchet around parallel to the wall, or perpendicular, I don't know the word, but probably parallel. We're going to hold down on the right analog stick and slightly to the right. And you're going to notice whenever the camera's going to snap whenever I hold down like this. So when the camera snaps like that, you want to be on the tail end of when it's about to finish snapping. And we're going to do a backflip. Like that. The old method really sucked, and it was very inconsistent because the camera does act differently between PS2 and PS3. But with practice, it should not take long at all to be able to do that one. Now, the next 2 clips that I'm going to do are going to be a bit more precise. So hopefully that was pretty easy for you. By the way, we're going to perform similar to the ladder skip in Aranos. We're going to do a flip. Oh, my stick drift just made me fall down. So now we're going to perform something similar to the previously mentioned ladder skip. We're going to jump, and we're going to do a macaroni and then perform another macaroni as soon as we hit the slope on this wall right here, like this. That is sometimes a bit finicky when you're first learning it, but just practice it more and it will not be nearly as difficult. So we're going to continue through, and we're going to ignore this enemy right here. He doesn't give us really any value. Instead, we're going to shoot this enemy down with the Lancer just because it's faster for us to just keep moving forward. He doesn't give that much experience. However, right here, we are going to use the gravity bomb. Hopefully, I don't die. Surely not. Oh, yeah, I did. Okay, we're going to add... I'm going to add it back. And we're going to kill our first batch of laser bite enemies right here with the gravity bomb. 5 do come out. And it does give us a bit of experience. So from right here, we are going to do our first camera clip as opposed to the camera flip from earlier. So I mentioned that when you jump a bit earlier, when the camera first snaps, the camera will clip you. This is a bit harder to perform because of the fact that it's a bit more reactionary, or you have to be a bit more reactive to the camera actually snapping. But it shouldn't be that difficult. I also prefer going a little bit more to the like facing to the left, and you want to be in this corner, by the way, because there is a possibility that if you're too far to the left, you're going to clip in between 2 platforms, because of the height difference between the two. So I prefer being in this corner, as well as being slightly tilted to the, I guess, to him it's face right, but to the left. Hold down and hold left on the analog stick so it rubs against the wall. And once the camera snaps, you perform a backflip. You can do a slightly faster method where you go on the backside of the elevator, but that's very difficult to pull off. And this clip is much easier and not that much slower. I prefer to stand. You can do it from this side, but I prefer to actually do it from this side, just because of how finicky the camera can be with camera flips or cam clips. Sorry. So I stand right here. You don't want to be too close because the camera will probably get stuck on a light or on the wall. So I prefer sitting right here, and I crouch right here, hold down, or face away, hold down on the analog stick, and then tilt left till the camera snaps, and then I perform my clip. When you perform the clip, you want to keep holding forward. And if you feel like you're about to fall through, sometimes you might be a little bit too far to the left. What you could do to compensate for that is just hold a bit upright to compensate, and you'll land right here. We're going to kill these enemies with the with the gravity bomb. It's not mini nuke yet, and we're going to kill this enemy with the gravity bomb. They both give us a decent bit of XP. Because I don't have any. If you had another gravity bomb, you can't kill this enemy too. It also gives a lot of XP. And we're going to continue through, and we're going to try to double jump hyper strike from where I was, and here we're on to the Clank section. So because this is going to be different between 16:9 and 4:3. You can use you can just use my visual references if you'd like. I will say, I didn't mention it before, 4:3 is optimal because of lag reduction. The gravity bomb is really laggy in 16:9. And even more so in Siberius than in the most other planets. But it's also just other things like Snivelak, it's just less laggy, and so you don't drop as many frames. Anyways, so for Clank clips, my stick is drifting again. So for the first clip, Clank clip, what we're going to do, we're going to get into this corner right here, and I'm going to tilt the camera so you notice these little red notes on the side right here, as well as these screws, right? we're going to line up the camera so that this screw, I'm not exactly sure which node it is, but when we get to the this upright screw right here, I am going to tilt the camera so that way that node, there's a node that's going to be on the left side of that screw. You'll notice that the screw is on the far left side of the screen. Sorry, my controller is drifting again. You'll notice on the very far left side of my screen, there's a screw, right? I want the node to the left of that screw to be popping out like the way it is right now. So this this screw right here, there's going to be a red node, one of these red nodes. We want that red node to the left to be peeking out. That's my personal visual cue. And so what we're going to perform now is we're going to let go of L1, and now we're going to tap L1, hold forward, and punch, or just tap forward. Just hold forward long enough to where you clip through. We're going to tap L1, move forward, and punch at the same time, and you want to be a little bit rapid with it. It will take a little bit of time to get used to the timing. You can watch the video back, and whether you want to turn it down or whatnot, just to see the inputs in action. But you want to get used to the timing so that way you do clip through more often. Now, some clips, however, do end up being you want to either delay your L1 a bit more, or you want to be more reactive and a bit faster. We're going to make our way down through this vent. If you're on the top, you will void out, which is fine because you spawn right there anyways. And if you want to, if you don't feel confident with the second clip because it is a bit harder, you can hit this continue point by the elevator. So now we're going to make our way through to this corner right here. And I'll point this out. So you notice these like right in the middle of my screen. I'm not exactly sure what to call it. It looks like a circuit or like a battery. But they're for these little battery things, and they have these three sides, right? Or like these three little like circles coming out of them. We're gonna cut off the first one, or the one furthest to the left, and we're gonna try to keep these two. If my stick will stop drifting. Oh my god, it's so bad. We're going to cut off the one farthest to the left like that, right? But we're going to do it from this corner over here. And the timing is almost pretty much identical to the last clip. This one is a bit more precise, and your camera angle will be a bit more finicky. But roughly, this is where you want to be at. And then we're going to do L1 forward and punch. You will get a weird camera, so what you want to do to compensate for that is to double jump and glide around the wall by holding forward and moving it like from forward to the right on your left analog stick. My stick drift just kicked in, so I'm going to set this up again like this. Oh. So, I was having some difficulties with my controller, but as you can tell by my inputs, I got a weird camera. Sometimes if you're looking a bit further to the right, you can clip straight through the wall. But the problem with that is oftentimes you'll either clip and not be able to jump, or you'll just not be able to clip because you're directly in the corner. So I go with my method that I had just shown, just because it's more consistent. So now we're going to continue on, and now of course we have Clank. We're going to immediately swap to the thruster pack. Coming up here, coming up to this section, there will be a help desk voice line. Sorry about that, my brain just farted. So make sure that you press triangle whenever you want to pull out the gravity bomber lancer, and if you feel like you want some more bolts just to be safe, you can destroy those. And we're going to make it over here, and this is going to be one of the hardest tricks in the early game, so I will preface that. But before we start that, you do want to get gravity bomb ammo and lancer ammo. We're going to death abuse, and we're going to line up Ratchet in a specific spot. We're going to line Ratchet up right here, so you notice this pattern of like a rectangle with like a triangle pointing out at the end of the like at the end of the rectangle side. We're going to line up Ratchet on this darker point right here, right around here, and we're going to line him up. I'm going to fix my controller, and we're going to line our camera up to the middle of this M, a little bit more to the right if you want. And all we're going to do is move forward. We could also tilt the camera a bit more to the right, I guess, because it's trying to adjust itself. So we're going to do 2 thruster pack jumps, or 4 jumps, and then we're going to hold R1 and tap L1. I did get a little bit of a weird angle there, so I'm going to retry this. And I will say that this isn't exactly consistent. This is just my most consistent method about this. This is a very difficult setup, though. Like that. When the enemy spawns, you want to tap L1, as I did, while holding R1, so that way you are crouching underneath his hitbox, and you're able. What we did was we got inside of his hitbox, and just the way that he's programmed, like most enemies and even decoys, actually, um, enemies have a property to them where if you are stuck inside of them, your camera gets stuck inside of them, as well as Ratchet. So now we're in a state where Ratchet is the camera is above Ratchet. So now what you're going to do, we're going to go back close to our ship. You're not able to move. Do not press L1 at all. It's going to fix the camera, and we're going to move around back to our ship with just the left analog stick. If you are near a surface, the camera will get wonky on you like this, and if you hold down, flash warning, this will happen. Okay, so now that I have that covered, you're going to break these boxes. We are on the right side, like from here, it's the face right side of the ship. We're going to go to these two, we're going to go to like this railing, and you'll notice these black prongs. What we're going to do now is move forward from this angle. You want the camera to be as straight as possible. We're going to make it to this second black prong closest to the wall that we were just at. We're going to hold crouch and hold left on the D-pad. Now we're going to wrench swing so the camera gets straightened out, and we're going to equip the helipack. And this is the hard part. This is one of the probably the hardest part. But there's an easy method for it. What we're going to do, we're going to run forward so the camera is a bit farther away from Ratchet, and then we are going to jump. As soon as we jump, we pause, and while we're paused, we hold down on the D-pad or analog stick, but preferably D-pad, so you're cardinal. Um, and then we're going to mash X and strafe while holding down on the D-pad still. The problem with this trick, if you're not perfectly, well, not perfectly, but if you're not parallel enough, like if you're not at a cardinal direction, because right now, if I go in the map, we're pretty close to directly facing to the right or east, right? Like here, we're pretty damn close, right? So, I'm gonna wrench swing just to make sure we have that angle. But we're letting the camera get farther away, then jump and be in a double jump state, or rather in a glide state, and we're going to strafe so that the camera is pushing Ratchet up, or that it's like we're not. At least I'm not exactly sure how it works, but you're basically being pushed up by the camera. So hold forward, jump, and pause as soon as you do that. As soon as you jump, then hold down on the D-pad and press triangle and mash X right afterwards. and then once you perform your glide, you strafe like this. It will take a lot of practice to get used to this. It is a hard trick to learn. And the reason why we pause, and we're going to go more into this later on, is that you'll notice I'm holding forward, and I'm still holding forward, but when I unpause, or there we go, like this, I'm still holding forward. The thing is that when you pause, it buffers your input, or not buffers your input, but it stops your input for a couple frames. I guess the reason why it didn't work just now is because I had too much speed. But you're basically wanting to when you pause, it allows Ratchet to go directly into his next state. If you don't pause buffer, more than likely you will swivel. You'll end up swiveling, and you won't be in a cardinal direction anymore. And you probably either won't be in a cardinal direction, at worst, or at best, you're gonna land somewhere completely different. So again, just get used to practicing this. It is pretty difficult to get through, but it is very useful. It saves a lot of time because we don't have to upgrade the Lancer. So now that we have completed this, you can get the well, not you can. You want to get the swing shot, and if you want to, you can break this crate. My controller is starting to drift again, so I'm gonna fix that after I do this. But you want to break this pyramid crate so that you get 1,000 bolts, which is going to be pretty handy. So now, we're going to use this. The swing shot is pretty similar to the way it is in Rack 1. And if you don't know about how it works in Rack 1, then I'll explain. If you hold forward while using a swing shot node and then go neutral as you let go or as you land, you're carrying all that swing shot momentum. And so the next action that you do, as long as you're neutral on the stick, or if you act accordingly, and quickly, the next input will have a bunch of speed. So if you pay attention to my inputs while I try to do this, and if I don't mess it up, then I'll show you what I mean. I messed it up. I'm going to set it up again. I'm having a skill issue today, and I'm having stick drift. I apologize. Okay. There we go. And you could do the same thing right here and be able to side flip. If you're having a problem with that, what you can just do instead is simply forward jump with a helipack or double jump with the thruster pack. And now you want to go back to the thruster pack right here. Because we did Woopash skip, the game still thinks that the next thing that we're supposed to do is go back to Woopash. So when you perform this, or when you go back to Maktar, make sure that you press triangle and up instead of going straight up pressing X. You can also break these crates if you want for more bolts and ammo. So triangle and up whenever the timing happens. I have a weird angle right there with the camera, but it's fine. Still the same cue. So here we're on Maktar. I do have full ammo on both weapons, which is good. It's fine if you don't have that much Lancer ammo, but you definitely want to have your gravity bomb all the way up, like at least 6 ammo. So we're gonna make our way over here, and this is gonna be one of another relatively hard trick to definitely to learn, and it is a bit complicated. I'm going to try my best to explain it in a beginner fashion. So when Ratchet uses, the thruster pack is instant momentum, but with a cap, right? No matter how much I try, I'm not gonna go any faster than this, other than if I like time my side flip like this. But even then, that's still not gonna suffice enough speed for this trick to work. However, if we go from the thruster pack to the helipack, the helipack has less speed. It's not instant speed, but it's a higher speed cap and momentum. So when Ratchet lands his feet on the ground, we're going to press X and then R1, almost as if we're doing a macaroni. We want to be a little bit more tight with the timing between the X and the R1 while holding forward. Do not be neutral whenever you do this. And one aspect as well that will mess this up, you want to pause as soon as you forward jump. Because of that pause buffer thing that we did, like that pause buffer thing that we did with the Endako. It's not really pause buffer, but it's pause tech. The For a couple frames, the input will be eaten. So we want to make sure that that is while we're in the middle of the air rather than when we land. So, uh, so again, forward jump with the thruster pack. Pause instantly, like go straight into your pause menu as soon as you jump, and then go to the helipack. And as soon as Ratchet lands his feet on the ground, press X and R1, one right after the other, like that, and you'll get a bunch of speed. Right. We're going to perform this right here on this ledge, or down on this ledge. These it's like half an octagon shape right here, right? We're gonna be in between these two. My sick trip is kicking in again. But we're going to be right between these two, like half octagon shapes, if not a little bit more forward into this one. So like this. Oh, there we go. So now that we're at this part, you keep your momentum. Even right now, I still have my momentum. So we're going to hold. We're not going to hold, but we're going to let go of the ledge with R1. Quickly glide and then hyper strike one right after the other again. That will also take a bit of practice, but because it is pretty instant how you want to deal with that. But yeah, all you're doing, you don't want to be holding forward at all. You still need to be neutral, or you want to let go forward after your pack swap, and you want to do that as soon as the packs. You want to let go of forward into neutral as soon as you hit the pack swap, so that you keep your momentum into that ledge grab. So now we're going to go into jamming array. Jamming array is very straightforward. We are going to do another pack swap, but I do have a backup method that is a lot easier and is a little bit slower, but anything for the beginners. You can be a little bit more YOLO about this and shoot a gravity bomb straight at this transponder, but if you want to be a bit safer, you can just group those enemies up and shoot them with a gravity bomb, and then just use the node right there, the bolt. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. We're gonna keep going through. We're gonna go in a straight line for the first 3 transponders, and then we're going to go to our left. So right after this, oh, don't know how that happened. We're gonna go straight forward right here. Use the gravity bomb to wipe these enemies out. And you can also use a gravity bomb right here. So press circle, X. Oh, stick drift just ruined my gravity bomb. There we go. We can break that if we want. And I got gravity bomb ammo because, of course. And we're gonna kill these enemies right here with the gravity bomb as well. And we are pretty high on experience. Oh yeah, my stick drift is really messing with me right now. Kill those enemies with a gravity bomb and perform this. Now we're going to use a Lancer, break this, and go to our forward left to get this transponder. It doesn't really matter if you kill these enemies with a gravity bomb or not. In fact, we're pretty good on a gravity bomb XP. It's up to you if you want to level it up a bit more, but the more gravity bombs you use, of course, the more likely you are to get ammo, which is a bit slower, but it's all up to you. We're going to destroy that with the Lancer, and this is going to be our second pack swap. This one could be a bit finicky, so I prefer, if my controller will stop freaking out. I don't think it will. Okay, so I prefer there's like this web pattern. I go a little bit forward to like this range right here, and we're going to land at the end of this little section over here. So we're going to set up from back here, and we're going to jump a little bit forward right around here, and we're going to land at the opposite end. And as soon as we land, you want to do the same thing of X and then R1, like so. If I hit it, there we go, and keep holding forward. Or actually, no, I'm stupid, sorry. You do not want to be holding forward. You want to be neutral, because you want to keep the momentum. I should have known that. Like so, hopefully I get it. There we go. Hyper Strike right at the very end. And if that is a little too hard, then I will show my backup strat for that. So what you can do alternatively, I think you can quite literally just double jump and glide with the thruster pack. But what I prefer to do is go from the helipack into the thruster pack. And as soon as the animation's done playing, you just keep gliding forward and then hyper strike right here. Then you want to just go around, wrap around, and double jump. That's a perfectly fun alternative if you're having, whether you mess up the pack swap or if you or you just don't like it, and you want to play it a bit safer. We're going to forward jump. You can use this pad to get closer if you want, but I'm just going to forward jump and break that. Try to get some ammo. That's good.
Good work.
So once I land here, we're going to go to the left side on this little I'm not exactly sure what you call it, but like a stand or like a just a structure pretty much. And we're going to tilt Ratchet towards the right. It's kind of hard to be able to maneuver the camera, so we're going to just deal with this camera angle and face him to the right. Now we're going to move to the right and double jump, pretty standard double jump, and keep gliding until you're able to hyper strike like so. Pretty easy from there. You can do it from right there at the start, but it is a little bit harder to, not a little bit, a lot harder to time the double jump and hyper strike. So now what we're going to do, we're going to perform what is called Jank Pot, which is going to affect the bolt value for the next 2 planets. You can kill these enemies if you want, but the way this works is you want to kill an enemy in a revisited, yeah, right. I'm right. You want to kill an enemy in any revisited planet, but it has to be like a thug. The smaller enemies will not really, it won't affect the value, but the thug will, because I'm not exactly sure, but some enemies basically give you it, some don't. So, but this thug definitely does. So what you can use the gravity bomb or the lancer and shoot the box. He's gonna die. Right? He's dead? Yes, he's dead. Okay. So now, for the next 2 planets, we're going to kill no enemies. We're going to use the gravity bomb to break boxes, and we're going to try to get to 6,000. We need 6,000 for the decoy glove and the bomb glove, and then we're going to need another 6,000 for the Siberius coordinates. And this level is pretty infamous, so just be warned. The difficulty is pretty much worth the hype. So you want to pull out your gravity bomb, and you can get a full clip if you want. We only need 3 or 4. So if you're at 3 or 4, then you don't need to buy gravity bomb ammo, but that's RNG. So we're gonna buy 2, and you can break this and this. If you but if you want more bolts, you can actually break this, or rather this and then this. As soon as so I say and then because you don't want the bolts to latch onto you instantly. You want to be a bit farther away. So if you're a beginner or you feel like you don't have enough bolts, this will give you about 3,000. So double jump and break that. Wait a little bit, break that, and look how many bolts we get. 1.3, well, by 1.3, so roughly 2.7k. We're going to do something similar now that we have Clank. We're going to do something similar to a pack swap, where instead of forward jumping, we're actually going to do a macaroni. Pretty much, we're going to do a we're basically doing a forward jump into a side flip, um, like this. And if you're able to land it, then it does take some practice. You can't actually just do it from without the thruster pack to gain momentum, or to keep the momentum. However, it is much easier to start off with the thruster pack into the hollow pack. And even if you don't get that, it's perfectly fine. The thruster pack is pretty fast as well. You don't need to worry about pausing and unpausing. We're going to get into this corner, and it's as simple as hold R1, hold X, then hold forward, and move to the right. Jump, forward to the right. We're just using the rocks, the way that they're built, to push Ratchet up with his high jump. It shouldn't take that much practice at all to get down. So as I said, we are not going to kill any of these enemies, or the enemies in Notak till after we break the boxes. One thing to note: if you do have a Rack 1 file, the discount is not allowed for runs. However, even if you don't want the file to, or sometimes you'll get the discount even if you didn't complete Rack 1. Like, basically, the PS3 doesn't matter, right, about what progress you have. If you have a Rack 1 save at all, um, it won't automatically apply it, but if you're too fast, it will give you the discount. So you either want to make sure that you don't get the discount by playing it a bit slower, or to just not have a Rack 1 file and make like another PS3 profile. So you can pick your poison on that. I don't have a Rack 1 file, so I'm pretty safe. We're going to buy the decoy glove and the ammo for it, and then the bomb glove and the ammo for it. Now we're going to go over here and start the race. If you're brand new to this, if you're brand new to any percent, do not do this. This is the hardest part of the early game, and it's not even close. It's just very inconsistent. However, if you want to go for a higher time, if you want to get like a even sub hours, definitely possible without this. But if you want to save 2 minutes, then go for this. I'll actually do a lap casually, just to show the route. You just basically want to keep getting these boosts as you're moving forward. Tap R1 as soon as the boost goes out on the top left, and you just want to hit the corners as much as possible so you're able to accelerate around faster. You also do get a slight boost if you're pushed up against a wall. However, you don't want to crash, so try to play it a bit carefully if that's what you want to go for. Right here, though, I get a little bit of a boost. And you want to make sure that you aren't hitting, of course, any rocks. If you do, you'll get like a little jump up. And this is how you would want to deal with the race from a very, very early beginner standard. Even then, I think that you can get, like I said, if you're trying to go for sub-hour, you don't need to do this strat I'm about to do. But, of course, if you want to go for it, have at it. This is by far one of the hardest parts. So, I'm going to try my best to explain it. So, the way this race works is when you go past a certain point, right around here, or not right around here, right around this area right here, the game gives you a value of 1. What it looks for is, do you have the value of 1, and are you at the finish line? So, when you have this message pop up wrong way, it is, or even if you're like, I think it even calculates your angle that you're at. It calculates the angle to see if you're in the wrong direction or not. But basically, if you go backwards, if the game thinks that you're backwards, it will deny you the 1 value and put you back at 0, right? So now I'm at 0. Now I'm at 1. I'm still at 1, but once I go back here, I'm back at 0. I wish I hope that makes sense. But I still have the 1 value, even though I'm facing the wrong way. But once I go past that line where I get the value of 1, and I'm still in the wrong way direction, then the game takes the value out. So what we're trying to do is we're going to enter and leave. People say it's on the same. I mean, it may or may not be. I'm one of the pioneers of this trick. Robo is to take credit. I'm also going to turn down my volume on the game a little bit. Robo is the main pioneer as to how, or is the final stepping stone, and she did it a lot for this trick the way it is right now. But it was a team effort to find out the way that the race works. So even though I have, but that being said, even though I have some knowledge about how this race works, I can't say for sure everything. So just take what I say with a grain of salt. It might be a frame perfect, it might not be. We're not fully sure. It is just hard though. So, so this dark gray line right here, this part right here, or you know, like the second closest one to this wall, is roughly where the trigger is. So what you want to do, you want Ratchet to be at a barely tilt. So like if I'm forward enough like this, I don't move at all. You want to be barely tilted to the left, like this, and you want to accelerate Ratchet from a little, like not too much, but a little far away, so that way he gets more acceleration into this piece of the pipe right here. We're going to press right on the D-pad when we enter this darker gray part right here. So you'll notice in the middle it's pretty light gray. In this side it's moderately gray. On this side it's darker gray. And right here it's the darkest part of gray, right? We're going to start roughly where the light, like in the middle where it's a light gray. And we're going to barely tilt Ratchet and press right on the D-pad when he hits this darker gray patch right here. The way you can tell that it works, or the visual cue, is if you see, you'll notice when I drive against it that there are these sparks that come out of the pipe, right? If you'll notice that it works based off of that and based off of if Ratchet stutters a bit. If it looks like you hit this side of this right side of the line, and yet for some reason you hit like the friction comes off of this part as well, you probably hit it, or you like there's a chance you hit it. It's a matter of luck. It's a matter, basically, like, even though there is a way to get it consistently, the problem is that you just don't know for sure if you actually got it or not. More often than not, you'll think that you got it and then you hit the finish line and you didn't. So I'm going to try to perform the trick. Hopefully I don't take too long trying to get it. So like I said, be barely tilted and then hold, try to accelerate and try to get the stutter on the tail right side of that dark gray of the pipe. That looked pretty fine. I didn't get it. So I'm going to try to lock in. I'm going to try to tap in a bit, try to get it. That one looked good, and I got it. And this is a very, very, very practice-heavy part. I saw I got the stutter there, and if you go back, you can see that the friction or the sparks were at that darker gray part, or the darkest gray part of that pipe. So this is a pretty good race. I didn't get it right there. I did get a stutter, but not where I wanted it to be. I didn't get a stutter. That looked kind of fine. I didn't get it. I wasn't confident about that. That looked fine. Yeah, 30-second race is really good. And I can't stress it enough. Do not try to go for that acting as if you're going to get it first try. I am pretty decent at it. I'm pretty good at it, but even I have moments where I get like a minute-long race. and I have had as short as 10 seconds, and I have had as long as almost 2 minutes as of recently. So just make sure that you don't rely too much on this trick. It is a gateway. Do not treat it any less. So we're gonna go back and we're going to go to Notak. Again, we're going to keep Jankpot because we haven't killed any enemies yet. Oh, I'm sorry. I completely forgot. Feltzin. And this is my least favorite planet in the game. So perfect opportunity that I forgot about it. This is by far my least favorite part of the run. And the main reason why is the way that this is supposed to work, because it's RNG, is we're going to target the green ships. We're going to either snipe them or have them, if they're aggroing us, just try to line up your shot. And if not, just try to scout them out and snipe them. The blue ones, the warpers, as we call them, the like the ones that look more wing shaped, those ones suck. They teleport randomly and they move very weirdly. They move like in a circle around Ratchet. The purple ones are chill. They're really easy to lock onto, and easier to hit because they have a bigger hitbox. But the blue and the green ones can act very not in our favor. Sometimes they can get stuck in rocks. Sometimes they can just be in God knows where. Sometimes you'll chase through the entire map to try to find a blue one, and it just teleports. It's really bad. So, um, I'm gonna keep boosting, and we're going to stay in between. So, like, let me start this challenge and be in the area I'm talking about. We're gonna be right in this open zone. If we were too close to these rocks, if we're too close to these holes as well, um, you see the ship is going to be in here, and he doesn't teleport, so he can get stuck there. So what we want to do is we want to stay as much in the open as possible, and the way the mini map works is if the dot is more like consolidated, like if it looks more, if it looks uh non-transparent, that means that the enemy is on the same level of height as you are, so you should be able to see it if it's close to you. But if the enemy, like for example, I'm gonna crash because I didn't have enough space to turn around. But like, let's see. So to my left, on like the farthest enemy to the left is a bigger dot. If the dots are smaller, it usually means that they're below you, and if they're moderately sized, they're on level with you. If they're big or if they're non-transparent or if like they're more clear, that usually means that they're higher. Yeah, so there was a green ship above me right there. Or even like, for example, this ship, you'll notice on the top left corner of this octagon map shape, there's an enemy right there. And if I look up, where is he? There he is. See? So just try to get used to that with the mini map. Try to use that to travel around. So, anyways, like I said, so we're gonna use the missiles to lock on to the blue enemies, or not the blue, the purple enemies. If the blue enemies are kind of being a nuisance, we want to shoot them with the missiles. But we're just scouting out the green ones. There's 10 green ones, so that purple ship just ran into me. You don't even necessarily need to keep count. Usually they go straight into you. It's not super specific with your missile order, um, but you just want to shoot. You want to prioritize the green ships. If the blue ones come along, then that's good. Oh, I nearly hit a rock right there. Okay. Um, yeah, like this. Um, I saw a blue ship. I was trying to shoot it, and then it just went away. So that's just a Feltzin moment. Right here, for example. I'm sure at some point there will be a blue ship that is, and I'm using the mini map to pave the way on where I'm looking. But I'm sure at some point you'll see a warp happen like midway through me shooting. Okay, I did not. You can keep shooting in this wave or between the waves, so you're able to get. See, I killed 2 ships right there. Um, because you do keep firing a little bit before, or a little bit after wave 2 spawns in. And now, This is also completely random. So on the left side of my screen, you'll notice that I have more green ships, and those are my priority. So I'm going to face a little bit to the right and just try to gun them down. Like that. That was a really good start to wave 2. Blue ship, purple ship, green ship. Not Dr. Seuss. And when the enemies are like that, when the blue ones are like that, that means that, of course, that they have warped to you and wrapped around you. Like I said, sometimes you'll shoot them and then they'll just warp around. If you're unlucky enough. That one warped me. Okay, I just have these 2 purple ones. But yeah, you don't even need to really use the missile ammo. It doesn't take that long to shoot them. The reason why I hate the split so much is because it's so inconsistent as to how this plays out. I had a really good start to wave 2 because a lot of the green ships were mostly on the right side of my screen. But like it doesn't matter what level of play you're at. You'll always you'll always have a really inconsistent way of dealing with the split. It sucks because you do like Endako, jamming entry, and Barlow and shop clip just to lose your run to pure RNG, which I personally don't like that. So, anyways, we completed it. So now we're gonna Notak. And again, like I said earlier, but like before I got confused, we are going to oh, I forgot I need to hold the trigger buttons. By the way, I should have said that earlier. The ship cutscenes, you do need to hold down the trigger buttons like that, and then you press start. Okay. So, do not kill any enemies till we get our bolts. We need 6k bolts. I have a lot, because of the routing that we've done, and because of my burn right now. Endako, I usually don't break the pyramid because I have more than enough bolts anyways. But you can break this crate over here, or those crates over there, followed by those crates over here. And I got 3,000, and there's still more over there. We're obviously more than 6k. More than 6k. If you want to be a bit more optimal, if you have confidence or if you're good at pack movement, forward jump, pack swap into a midair, and I will explain midairs in a bit. Oh, okay. Well, unfortunately, I messed it up because I'm bad. There we go. So I'll explain what midairs are. Since I just performed one, and what I just did will skip that checkpoint. So you can try to do what I just did. You can try to practice it if you want. Unfortunately, like I said, not to make excuses or Johns, but this controller is kind of bad. And I lifted a chair and couch earlier, so my hands or my arms are a little bit weak right now. Anyways, some midairs. So, you're going to perform a side flip. You're going to act as if you're going to side flip, and then you can also kill these enemies if you want. I mean, there's not really a point because in Siberius we're gonna like get a bunch of XP. Anyways, I'm just killing them for the sake. You don't need to do that. I don't know why I'm getting bolted either wall. Anyways, okay. So you're going to do this, right? So act as if you're trying to do a side flip. And then I'll imagine if you wanted to do a side flip, and then you're like, and you do a forward jump instead. So it's like this, followed by forward and R1 right as soon as you hit the side flip. So my hands are cooked. So like that. You'll notice I kind of stutter a little bit, right? I stutter and then I do a long jump. They're really hard on Ratchet Clank 2. On Ratchet Clank 1, they're really easy to learn. But in Rack 2, they have a very short time window to pull off. So do not be discouraged if you can't hit that, and it's perfectly fine to go past that the bridge and get the checkpoint. Anyways, so you can kill these enemies if you want. Obviously, if you're underbolted, do that. And here, we make it over here. Now what we're going to, now what we're going to do, we're going to jump, glide around, and land on this slope right here. And we're going to make sure that Ratchet is pretty close to forward looking on this platform. And then what we're going to do, as soon as we land, we're going to wrench swing. And then we're going to double jump again. These are called SIs, slope intercepts. We're going to make sure we're looking at a wall. And we wrench swing as soon as we land, so we keep a little bit of our height. And then we double jump again because we're still in a grounded state. So like this. Very easy. That one can be a bit finicky though, because of how tight the angle is. You want to be a little bit away from the wall before you turn around, because if you're too close, you'll more than likely like nip the slope and you'll fall down. Anyways, so now I make it over here, and this is another really hard trick to learn. So I'm gonna try my best to explain it, and I still do this. I really hope my stick drift doesn't kick in though. So these are called tiptoes. So what you want to do, you see how, despite there being nothing like evidently visual, there's still a slope right there, right? We want to land where that crosshair is, and we want to be neutral, and then we double jump while staying neutral. So I'm actually going to, of course you can do this if you're a beginner, is hit that continue point in case you mess it up. Optimally you wouldn't, because you want a death abuse whenever you go in here and spawn at your ship, but it's perfectly fine to do this, to do the continue point. So we're going to hold forward and glide after a double jump, and as soon as we hit this like the slope with my crosshair on it, we're going to let go of forward, be neutral, and double tap X and glide again. Then in between glides, we're going to move forward. So double tap X, double tap X, and then in between double jumps and landing on the ground, you move forward, like so. And you can glide a bit too. I prefer being further on the right side of this wall, because if you're on the left side, it's the opposite of steep. It's very like it goes straight to if I can get my wrench out, there we go. It goes straight to that wall, and you're more than likely going to wall bounce because you're so close to it. Whereas if you're on the right side, you're farther away from the wall, so you don't wall bounce, and you're more than likely to either get up top straight or ledge grab. So as you notice, I messed it up on purpose because I just stood still. You can't do it if you're standing still. But as you can tell based off my inputs, and you can keep watching it back and reading my inputs as much as you would like. But you can also go on the right side here. By the way, this is actually a little bit easier, and you do ledge grab. So if you prefer doing that, go ahead and do that. But you'll notice with my inputs, I'm neutral as I land on the ground, and I only move forward in between double jumping, right? So like I said, that is really hard to learn, but it's just a simple practice of move forward till you land, and then once you double jump and glide, you move forward, and you just repeat that process of being neutral till you land, then double jumping, and then moving forward, and then being neutral. Sorry, let me word it like this. It's a simple process of move forward till you land, then double jump neutral, and then move forward between your double jumps. And it's those steps back to back. So right here, you can do a double jump or a forward jump, because the hitbox size of this cutscene is pretty massive. Perhaps like that. And if I didn't hit the continue point, you could just fall in this water pit with the fish and death abuse right to your ship. But if you're a beginner, I don't recommend risking not going for the. I don't recommend risking not hitting the continue point. Yeah, I was correct. And you just use a taxi. So, we're gonna go into Siberius. Honestly, like with the swing shot, it's really easy. It's not too difficult. It does lag a lot, which is one of the reasons why 4x3 is a bit better to play on. And you want to make sure that you are also as like if you don't have, I just realized that I just stood on top of that. Wow, that was weird. I just stood on top of this like little part right here. Um, that was interesting. I might look more into that later. But you want to make sure that you go into Siberius with, if you're like, the higher you are on XP, the less bombs you need, because when you level up the mini nuke, it refreshes your ammo. But it like the way I word it for how much experience you need. So like this is good. Um, I'm a little some like optimally you would be a little bit more under XP. So like imagine like there's a like it's a square root sign, the three like the one short line at the bottom, then the up right slanted line, and then the line pointing directly to the right again, the longer line at the top, right underneath the eights, the 8/8. Um, you optimally you would be in between the upward slanted line and the upper line underneath the ammo count, right? So this is really good. I mean, this is like decent XP. So now we're going to these guys give you a bunch of XP, and if they fall on the ground, they'd still give you mini nuke XP. But you don't need to do that. You just need to. They die in 2 bombs. So, and you'll notice I'm pretty close already. I did just kill them with my nanotech boss instead. But after this, there you go. If you have your wrench out, whenever the weapon levels up, it will not play the animation of the weapon leveling up. And instead, it'll just show you gravity bomb upgrade to mini nuke. So make sure that as long as like you know that you're going to level up off the enemy, that you have the wrench out instead of the weapon that you want upgraded. You can shoot these enemies with the Lancer. Like I said earlier, we don't really need to level up the Lancer. It's just preference if you want to use the Lancer or not. And you want to break these crates if you want for ammo and bolts. Pull out the swing shot and mini nuke. If these enemies are too much in the way, you can kill them with the mini nuke. But I'm just going to jump past them and use a swing shot right here. So now I'm going to go forward until I hit the thief. So like, there's like a little bump right in front of me on this convoy train thing. I don't know what the term is, but um, I'm going to hit that bump and then immediately back up, because the blade enemies will keep pushing me forward if I'm too close to the edge. They'll push me off the platform. So I hit this and then immediately back up and go into L1. I go into L1, so one, I don't end up whiffing a bomb. I can shoot a bomb straight at my feet, and it causes less lag. Unfortunately, I do have noodle arms right now, but it's fine. So if you do this, I'm going to die on purpose because I wanted to show this off, because it saves a healthy amount of time. It's like 10 seconds, but hold the swing shot. And when the cargo, when the convoy, let me pause a little bit later. So you'll notice 2 trains or 1 train ahead after this one. It's like slanted. It's going around a hill that's like curved. Um, so we're gonna use a swing shot when the train right in front of us goes over that. So it's at an angle to where we use the swing shot. You keep holding forward as well. You don't need to be neutral. But you keep holding forward after using the swing shot, and then you hyper strike like this. Very easy, like that. So you can do the same thing here. This doesn't save as much time. I still got it. Cool. Because otherwise you'd have to kill all the enemies inside that convoy. Like I said, noodle arm, so I'm not nearly as fast right now. And all you do right here is you can use a mini nuke if you want for XP or bolts or whatever. It's all preference. And then you can shoot a mini nuke right here too. But you want to make sure that you have a full mini nuke clip or mag in going into this fight. Do not go into first person. You're probably going to risk crashing your game if you're in first person, because if there's too much going on the screen at once, the game will crash. So I prefer not to do that, right? So I'm still having like a really bad like rapid firing, and I still wiped out like all of her health pretty fast. Then you finish her off with the Lancer. If you get hit by one of those enemies when you kill her or whenever you beat the boss, it will kill you. So make sure that you are not near any of the enemies whenever or that you don't get hit by anything whenever the boss fight is over. There you go. We're on the Siberius or the Siberius and into Tabora. So Tabora is a very chill planet. It can be a little bit finicky sometimes, but it's very simple. It's a matter of just going straight to the end. And since we have a swing shot, it is very easy to get straight to the end. It's just you don't even need to worry about killing enemies. If you're very underbolted, you can kill enemies if you want, or if you want some more experience for your health. Uh, I don't really. I mean, I don't really need to, but I will say I know this is very far ahead, but being at 9 health into Snivelak is very useful for beginners, I would say. So if you want to do that, keep that in mind. So I just bought Visu ammo, and you notice that I haven't used either the bomb glove or the decoy glove, and that's because of this planet. Because you want to have a full clip on your other 2 weapons because you don't want to risk getting decoy or bomb glove in this second section. We're not going to use any ammo here. It's going to be used for the crystal section. So, um, I mean, this is just as simple as just use a swing shot and glide. Um, but on this part, and if you want to be a bit fast, save a whopping 1.5 seconds, you can fall in the mud right there, and it teleports you straight up there. Um, so we're gonna go from where I was, right over here. We're going to go directly to our right, get this crystal. We need 10 crystals. So we get that crystal, go a little bit to the left, get this crystal, go a bit more back to the right, and get this crystal. Get close enough so that it latches on. Go to the left, get this crystal. It's like a zigzag pretty much of left, right, left, right. So now we get 2 crystals because those enemies drop a crystal themselves. Now we go forward over here. Break this one. And break these 3. Or break these 2 and kill this enemy. So what you can do now, you can do an easy method of get hit by them, shoot them once with the Lancer. Or if you want to be optimal, what you can do instead is shoot the bomb glove and then jump forward right after you shoot it like this. Because the bomb glove actually does self-damage. That can be a bit hard to get used to though. Yeah. And now we go into Dobbo. So we need 10k going into Dobbo or at the end of Dobbo, but we're already well past that. But if you're too low, if you're at like 9k or like even 8.5, breaking these crates gives you, let's see, yeah, 2,000. So you could be even at 8k. I am pretty low on ammo, so I'm just gonna buy that. And you can start a chain as far back as here with the thruster pack and helipack. If you're struggling or you just don't really like have confidence, you can just use the thruster pack. I'm gonna try this, and I blow because I didn't space it correctly, but it's fine. And this is a case of me instead of using the thruster pack, you can still start it with only the helipack. I'm gonna keep the thruster pack going into here. That reminds me of my health. If you are at 1 health, you can't. It is very hard to decoy clip. So make sure that when you do this, you are at 2 health or more. Try not to get hit as much in this section. You come over here, and what you want to do, you don't want to be directly in the corner like this because it doesn't give you a lot of space to put the decoy down. Instead, you want to be right here where like it begins to curve around, right? Like this line on the wall. You want to be pretty like pretty much facing that. You look down at your feet, and you tilt the camera to the right, and you just shoot a decoy. Now you want to wrench swing to the left and clip out, but do not keep holding forward or anything. Just simply wrench swing to the left. There you go. Now you can do a double jump and glide all the way down to the electrolyzer, which is right here. You see that little spark to the right of Ratchet? That is the electrolyzer. So we do the electrolyzer, and what we're then going to do, we're going to death abuse, and it's going to the reason why we have to death abuse is because usually if you did this casually, you would have a teleporter spawn already there. But because we do it in this fashion, we actually have to death abuse because we need to hit the trigger beforehand. So now we spend our 10k, as you see, and we're on our way to Hrugis. So this and this is probably like one of the most polar things about this category. You do not need the charge boots to get a good time in this at all. If you want to get the charge boots, go ahead, but it loses time, no matter how you flip it. Because it's like more than midway through the run, so you can't really use it enough to prioritize the speed as much. And on top of that, it is a it just takes forever to get to. It takes like I would say at the very least like 2.5 minutes to get, but more than likely it'll be like 3.5 minutes. So but yeah, basically you don't need the charge boots. So now we're gonna go on our way to Hrugis Cloud. And if you are, I think even if you're on PS2, cutscene there by the way. I think even if you're on PS2, it still loses time. So anyways, Hrugis is very easy. We're going to start the challenge, and if you want to, what I prefer doing is looking straight at this and shooting 2 missiles and just gun them down. Though sometimes you don't have enough time, so what you can do instead is just target this one further in the back, right? I'm actually gonna do my method because it's weird shooting something so far away. But yeah, you can do either or. I mean, I don't think you're gonna lose almost any time at all. And if you get missile ammo, we're only gonna use 2 missiles per ship. Missile ammo isn't super important because it's so easy to kill them. You do want to shoot them roughly in the middle. And now I'd ran out of missile ammo, which is fine because this one is as simple as just shoot them in the middle. And it's Hrugis. It's really easy. Todano is a different beast, however. There is an alternative that you can do that saves 5 seconds, and it's really hard. And I don't think I can do it first try because my arms are basically noodles right now. You can do a pack swap right here if you face to the right. Yeah, my arms are just way too weak to be able to perform in midair right now, but that's fine because that only saves about 5 seconds, according to other runners. So you can just come over here, and what we're now going to do, we're going to swap to the helipack, and you want to get in this corner, and just follow my SIs. All you need to do, like before, or actually this might be the first time with like helipack SIs. You just hold R1 and try to get in a position where you can high jump again and mash X like this. So right here, on this corner right here, you can do an SI. And we're going to try to wrap around inside that tree. And it shoots us up. If you aren't able to do that, what you can do instead is just smash X at an angle, and you'll eventually high jump. You make your way over here, scale up this rock, scale up this rock, scale up this rock, scale up this rock. And you can swap back to the thruster pack. Okay. So, there are several alternatives for this, and there's one really easy way, and I'm going to do that for the beginners. So we're going to utilize our first cam proxy, but before we do that, we need to set it up to where this spot over here doesn't shoot us. So what we can do is we get right in between these two rocks and shoot a decoy. He gets stuck shooting that, right? Now what you can do, imagine the timing of a Clank clip, right? But instead of doing up, forward, and square, you're doing up, forward, and circle. You can do this with or without. You can do this with a bomb glove or a decoy. You should probably go for the bomb glove if you're doing this strat, like with the decoy right here, because you don't want that decoy to go away in case you've messed this trick up several times. Because if you shoot too many decoys, they will start to fade out. So you could use the bomb glove. What you want to do, you want to get in this corner specifically, and you want to face Ratchet away from the wall. You want to keep holding R1, and what you want to do, like I said, is press L1, forward, and then circle. Almost exactly like a Clank clip. But like I said, instead of square, you press circle. And then what you can do is let go of everything and double jump, like this. I didn't double jump, but you saw that I got a lot of height right there. And there you go, you can double jump. If you want to be a bit fancy with it, and what I prefer to do, is to actually wrench swing, because it grounds Ratchet and solidifies your ability to double jump with the thruster pack. You do want to hold L1 whenever you wrench swing, and you don't want to be holding it for too long. But even just a double jump into a glide is fine. Now we're going to make it into Boldan, which is a cool. I like Todano, but I think that it's pretty trolly sometimes. But Boldan is a very cool planet. I know it's Scotto's favorite. It's probably one of my favorites. And it says, and we're going to utilize, similar to the helipack SIs that we just did on Todano, we're now going to do that with the thruster pack. It also, make sure that you break these crates, because they, as you just saw, I got 8.8k. And like, no matter how many bolts you have, you always want to break those. It just solidifies that you don't need to worry about bolts in the late game. So I'm actually gonna just die and pull the a gun with a crosshair, like the mini nuke or the decoy glove. So we're gonna go from, let me pull my wrench out, this rock to this rock. Sorry for voice cracks. This rock to this rock to this rock to this rock. And then we're going to be at the end of Boldan at this clock tower, right? So, what we're going to do, like I said, we're going to hold R1 the entire time, and we're going to mash X. You'll notice with my input, and of course I'm holding forward too. Literally, all you need to do is that you can adjust your camera like I am right now. Now, this is the one forward jump, or like the one jump that's a little scary. So, we're going to jump on the left side of the rock to our right. Like this. It can be a little tight on that. And if you don't feel comfortable, you can actually jump. I messed it up right there. But you can jump on that left rock. If this happens, you can double jump out of this like area. And just mash R1 and X. So even if you do mess that up, you can get back up here. So let me try to do this all like in a pretty clean manner, because that's really the only jump that is a bit like a bit difficult. Even that's not really that difficult, especially if you get like a high jump. But if you get a forward jump, you want to be a bit careful about it, like this. But that's fine, because you just wrap around and you just keep mashing X. And you'll notice that I'm tilting, of course, my left analog stick to fit the angle that's necessary to do the SI. You keep scaling up these mountains, like so. So what just happened right there? I saw that my feet were about to hit that little rock, or like the little part of the rock. So what I did to compensate is I still kept mashing X, um, because even if you nip a rock, as soon as that happens, you're in a grounded state and you can't get out of it. You might be able to wrench swing backwards, but just always play it if unless you're confident that you're making it over that rock, make sure that that if there's a little bit of like ground still that you need to cover over, that you're still mashing X in case you do hit that little part of the rock like I just did. Now you make your way over here, scale up this rock. You want to try to get almost all the way up, like this. And now you go into this room right here. There's gonna be an invisible wall probably. Yeah, it's stuttered a little bit, but if you hit that invisible wall, don't be too scared. You won't be in it for too long. And now we're into a very notorious, difficult part of the run. I recommend to not do A2 Ratchet. A2 Ratchet at any level is really hard. So, what I'm going to teach you instead, and now I am going to remind, I am going to say that I am on 4x3. So if you're on 16x9, I did run any percent on 16x9 for a while. So if you want to use any of the setups that I used in my 16x9 runs, then have at it. Or with my old guide. My old guide was pretty. I actually think I still do the same setups, but now in 4x3. So with this crate right here, I tilt the camera a bit to the left. Like basically, I'm kind of facing Clank in the middle, like on the top. There's like these like little screws on the rim of this square, right? Or this outer square. I kind of face Clank on the middle ones right here. And then you just kind of jump and hold forward. You can mess around with camera angles. It's really not that difficult to do. I just did it right there, like pretty easily. But you want to time it so that you're either jumping as soon, like right before, or right at, like when it happens, when the box kind of shakes around, and you just want to be slightly tilted to the left. It's not hyper specific at all. So my setup for this is based off of this like outer rim, or like this orange rim on this gray platform. You can use whatever you prefer, and there is a different method I can show that that I was told recently about, but you'll notice that like the left side, like on the very left of my screen where that rim is, that the corner is like right on my screen, right? Or like it's like I'm barely getting all of that side of the rim on the screen. Now what I do is L1 forward and square. You can be a little bit more up left if you want, like slightly more up left. And this one is a bit finicky, I will say. So I might not be able to get it first try, but yeah, I got it first try. Nice. So I had shown you the one on the left side. Let me show you the one on the right side. And this is what is called a strafe clip. You hold strafe, or it doesn't matter whenever you hold strafe, as long as you're holding strafe out of L1. And this giant red node, you want to get halfway through that node, like this, right? Or if you want to as well, you can use this like upper platform right here. You can cut that off slightly as well. That's an also decent visual cue. And you hold strafe the entire time, and then you do L1, L1 up right on the D-pad and square. And this one, it sounds like a lot of inputs, but it's not too bad. I'm gonna try it. Yeah, and you still have to punch. But For these next two, you do not need a punch, and they're still strafe clips. Actually, I forgot that there's the Clank proxy as well, but that's fine. I'll explain that when we get there. This one, you just want the right side of your screen to fit right here. Like you want this this rim of the platform on the right side, like this, you know. And you hold strafe, and you tilt the camera around to where almost a Ratchet, Clank, to where Clank will like clip straight forward. You keep holding strafe, and then you just tap L1 and forward. It's very easy. There you go. So the Clank proxy, this one is kind of hard, and I don't blame you if you want to do the casual method of the elevator, going up the elevator. It also gives you more bolts, but I don't think bolts are really an issue for any percent, especially in the late game. So my personal recommendation, well, for one, you want that spring, like this giant spring right here in the middle of my screen, this platform. You want that spring to be on the far right of your. It's not even that specific. There's a wide angle for this. It's very, very easy to set up. But my recommendation is press L1 and then punch and then do hold left on the D-pad. You want to make sure that you specifically but do square and then aside, because when you hold a direction, you lose your momentum. And again, I'm gonna try to do it in a fast fashion. So set this up right here, and then L1 square and down and left on a D-pad. You get a lot of height. The faster you are with that I find the faster you are between your L1 and square, the more height you gain. It's very easy, but it's hard to notice the spacing between L1 square and the side. So right here, this like section right here, like the thing that's right in the middle of my screen, you'll see. It's the rim of this curve basically. I prefer to line it up right around here. Like you don't need to be too specific. But I basically line the dark gray rim of this like red square. I line that up all the way to the right side of my screen, pretty much. You tilt the camera back around like you did with the other strafe clip, and then L1 and forward. So if you wanted to do A2 Ratchet, have at it. It's really bad, and I don't recommend it. It's just really hard. So I'll show you my other Clank clips instead. So for this one, oh, I just got a weird camera. I use this gray rim right here, this like dark gray rim, and I line up the left side of my screen with where the rim starts to like hit it. Then L1 forward, L1 up right on the D-pad and square, and you make sure that you keep holding upright. Now let's say you didn't hold upright. I'll show you what happens, and I'll show you what you can try to do to remedy it. So you do this, and let's say I don't. Let's say I just do this and I forget to hold the direction. Oh no, I'm stuck here. Well, you just fall down. You break this box. You go in this corner, and you try to get this crate right here. You want that crate to be off your screen. And this one is a bit generous too. You can also use some of the terrain on the walls if you want. And then all you do right here is L1 forward square. Very easy. Just make sure that the box is off your screen. If it is, then you're too far to the left on your camera. Then you make your way through. And I do not jump right here. If you jump and get hit, you will fall in the lava. It will just happen. So just make sure that you're on the ground and that you punch the enemies and that you're on this platform whenever you take that battle. Sometimes it will get on the robot, but they take a little while to like calibrate to looking at you. So you have a little bit of time to be able to punch them on that platform. Right here, you want to make the robot wait. You can't make him. You can't make him go with you. You don't need to, but he might die. Obviously now he won't because enemies are dead. So there you go. Now you just make your way over here. Lie down. Take your way. Make your just just like a casual playthrough pretty much. And right here, that bot will die, so you want the camera to be tilted at him so he spawns back. If he doesn't, then his behaviors will pretty much be disabled until you tilt the camera at him. But if you're too far away from him, this bot will, like the bridge bot will retract. Oh, no, that's not what I meant to do. Use hammer. So you don't want to keep moving forward. You want to make sure that you tilt the camera at the robot that the robot spawns, so that he spawns back before the bridge bot is retracting. So now this is very important. Push him a bit away. You don't need to push him that far away, but make him salute and then go for it right here. If he's in the middle of that bridge bot, the gadget bots. This isn't too likely. The gadget bots will try to go through, like try to wrap around them, and they'll fall off the bridge bot and get stuck, and it soft locks your game, and you have to reload. So just make sure that if you do this, that you make them salute before continuing forward. And this is the hardest clip in the hardest Clank clip in the entire game, but it's still I have a relatively easy setup. So you'll notice there are these like circles right here on the wall. These like right here in the middle of my screen on this rim. We're going to, the angle that we're going to be at. It's going to show, like, you'll notice at the top how it's like cut off a bit, or like how it's like halfway cut off. We're gonna want this. We're gonna want this to be a little bit away from the right side of our screen. And we're going to stand right here to where this blue line, right here in the middle of my screen, you'll notice that there's like a beige blue line, kind of. We want that to be right in the, to be in between Clank's legs. If you're too far in the corner like this, the clip will not work. So just make sure that you stand right here. And you'll notice at the right side of my screen, there's this dot, there's that circle that I was talking about. So we're going to line the camera up to where it's partially cut off right now. We're gonna line it up to where that little half circle almost is cut off. And now we're going to delay. This is the one instance where you want to delay your L1 and your direction. We're going to do L1 upright and square, but delay your L1 in direction just a little bit. And there you go. Now you reload whenever you hit that cutscene. And the rest of this run is going to be one-shot city, so keep that in mind. So once you spawn in, you can break these squares if you want. But we want to pull out the decoy glove, and similar to the last decoy clip, we're going to look straight at our feet and look a little bit to our right. But if I don't know if it's about to happen right now, but sometimes you'll throw a decoy and it'll clip through the floor like that. So you, if that happens, you look up just a little bit like this. Now we wrench swing opposite of where we threw the decoy, so through the wall. And now we're going to do another camera proxy. So one thing about camera proxies too with the wrench swing is that if you actually double swing your wrench, the next time you use a wrench, it'll come out faster. I'm just gonna do one wrench swing actually. Well, I'm sucking right now. There we go. I made it look a lot harder than it actually is, but trust me, I'm gonna die on purpose so I can try to do it again. Look down at your feet. Look a little bit to the right. If that happens, look up a little bit. Pushing over here. Set Ratchet up. Then camp proxy and wrench swing actually once, and then double jump. There you go. So now we're gonna go to Gorn, which is the hardest ship mission. It's not bad though. I really like Gorn. But there you can get missile ammo, which if that occurs, I'm going to act as if I only had 10, so that for the sake of like showcasing what to do. In case we don't get 10 ammo. We're gonna come over to our left. We're not gonna focus the one in the middle. We're gonna shoot this one, and we're gonna shoot him with you can shoot him with 2 or 3 missiles. I'll do 2. I prefer 3 just because it means I get to look at him less, so I can target the other ship more. But even 2 is just fine. Even 2 is fine. Now we're going to shoot 2 missiles at this guy. Look at him for a little bit and gun him down a little bit. And now we're going to turn back around to the one that we were shooting at earlier and make sure that he dies. I'm also jittering up and down a little bit between in Gorn. I'm jittering up and down so I can avoid the shots from the green ships as well as the cannons on these as well. It also helps me with the green ships can crash straight into you, and they take a chunk of your health. So you want to make sure that you are as up and down as possible when doing this. You don't want to be like oh like that. You just want to jitter down and jitter up again. So anyways, with this one, you can do 2 again. You basically just do 2 for the first 3. And then you do 4 for the last one because the last ship will be a lot more aggro and shoot a lot more green ships. Which does mean that you're more likely to get ammo, but don't depend on it. Because I think it's like a 1 in 9 chance of like, and I just had a ship crash into me. You see how much damage it did. It got rid of all my shield. So, it's fun though. And now we shoot 4 missiles in this one. And we keep our distance so we can keep shooting him for longer. You also want to shoot the front side of him, like the side farthest away from where you are, so that you aren't looking straight into him and likely to crash. And you're able to get him down a little bit longer. And there you go, that's Gorn. A lot of people over exaggerate how difficult it is, but just jittering up and down really helps out a lot. And knowing the missile route 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 4. And if you get missile ammo, even better. Sniv is a very difficult planet. So what we're going to do, if you have 8 health into here, right now I'm at 7, but if you have 8 health, you can grab the nanotech right here. Let me just do it to showcase how you can get it. I don't know why I'm buying ammo right now, but you can basically just like hold X. You chain momentum with the swing shot, and then when you're at the apex of it, you can glide. There we go. And then you just grab that. And that's if you want. If you're at 9 health, going into the Sniv boss, you are 2 shot instead of 1 shot, which makes it easier and less scary. But I have a setup that, or like I have a method that does help. So right here, it's up to you if you want a camp proxy or decoy clip. If you want a decoy clip, that's fine, like this. You can shoot it straight at your feet. Or if you want a camp proxy, like this, then that's fine too. Now you want to, you can do it later if you want as well. But usually by now you'd have 15k anyways. So you can buy a Spider-Bot glove. We're going to utilize the Spider-Bot glove in Grelbin and Yeedil. So buy that if you want. Or save it for Smolg. And we're going to, if you don't have full ammo on these 2, make sure you do. Okay. Try to do a chain right here. I will warn you that you are probably 1 shot by the guys with the guns. So what you want to do is just spam decoy glove ammo. Just spam decoys. I'm gonna use the thruster pack because it cannot chain right now. And they'll just focus that instead of you. And now, to make sure that you because they're going to break the decoys. So what you can do, hug this wall and throw a decoy. Then now they're gonna keep trying to they can't even break that one. That's funny. But even if they break those two, they can't shoot that one because it's behind cover. And they just wait for it, similar to the bot in Todano. You throw that one straight at your feet a little bit to the right, and you just okay. Yeah. Yeah, you can clip like that. But if again, if that's a little bit inconsistent, what you can do instead is this. Oh. Wow, I cannot cam proxy. Yeah. Noodle arms. That's all I'll say. But yeah, you could decoy clip and just run through. You can also decoy clip through those if you want. I mean, I don't know why you would, but if push comes to shove, then just do that. So now right here, we're gonna make him look at us. Get up here. Make him look at us again. And now we're going to take this and we're going to enter and then immediately leave. And if he, let's say that he went to the right instead of the left, what he can do instead is just enter the turret and leave again. See, he's still turning different directions. So what you usually see in any percent is something similar to this, where you would stand right here and he would take up most of the there's like a gray or not gray, orange like an orange tower to our left, and he's gonna pass over it, and as soon as he covers a majority of that orange tower is when you jump forward like this. But that's kind of hard and still pretty risky. So my preferred method, if you're a beginner, I mean, you could do this if you want, if you feel confident in the orange tower method. But let's say that you don't feel confident and you want to play a bit safer. You can do this method where I did something weird where I hit the corner of this pad instead of the middle. It's fine that he breaks that because I'm not going to use that anyways. So you enter the turret. He goes that way. Now you stand back here, and you basically want to play counter, like as far away from him as possible. He adjusts his position based off of where you are. So you want to be, when he's on the left, you want to be on the right, and vice versa. And when he passes around this corner, I'm going to stand right here in the middle of this section right here. You notice how I'm like right here in the middle? If he's not there, you can just go back. If I think you can be a bit more to the right or left, he will wiggle around. Anyways, what you can do now is just forward. Oh, he moved. Okay, let me try to set this up again, like in RTA, so I don't keep pausing. I'm trying to play a bit more straightforward so that you guys can see. But I think that, but like with this boss, you just kind of have to be a bit more faster paced. No. He will wiggle back around. There you go. And like this, he just keeps turning around. Now what you want to do? You want to when you turn left or right, he kind of like tilts a little bit left and right, and he'll move his knee up. What you want to do is move forward 2 or 3 steps. If you're too far forward, he will clip you. But I just try to play it safe and try to just let I kind of tamper and see where I'm at. And if I'm clipped, then I stand still. If not, then I keep trying to get that set up. So like this. I'm not clipped. I'm clipped now. So now you just stand right here in his crotch, and when he's I attune him so you might be able to just wipe him out. I might be able to just wipe him out as is, but if I didn't act tune him, then halfway through his health bar, I'm gonna treat it as if I didn't act tune him. But halfway through his health bar, a little bit after a little bit after halfway through his health bar, he will go up and shoot a laser straight down. So to counter that, you move left or right, so that way he resets his position because it's based off of how long he's been in the position for. So once he's halfway through, I take him a little bit to the left. I'm still clipped through, and I finish him off. And there you go. It's just a matter of practicing that. I know I made it look a little bit harder than it actually is, but like I said, it's a little hard to be slower paced and describe everything, and then try to do it right afterwards. But like I said, you can either do the orange tower method, if that's what you like more, or the method I had just shown. With charge boots, that method is really easy, but even without charge boots, the only hard part is just making sure that you avoid his bullets. So anyways, Smolg is my personal favorite planet. Um, it's really fun, and there's a lot of different alternatives for different strats. Now, because I have noodle arms, I am probably going to mess up the pack swap midair. So, and that's perfectly fine because there are a lot of different ways to deal with this world. You could also, like I said, if you didn't get the spider bot glove, you can get it right now. Well, you kind of need to get it right now, because you're not going to be able to get it elsewhere because you're not really going to kill any enemies here. Anyways, throw a decoy right here so the enemy doesn't. He will one shot you. Throw a decoy right there, and then you can just. I mean, I don't even know why I threw a decoy because I could have just went up here anyways. I've been playing Clankless too much. So, camp proxy right here. Oh, messed that up. There we go. Now you do two double jumps. You can do a hyper strike at the end, but it might be a bit risky, so you can just ledge grab it, and that's fine. You do not need a pack swap here. And even if you mess it up like I just did, you could just do this. A pack swap is not necessary, and like I said, noodle arms. That is going to be my excuse for the entirety of this tutorial. So now here's what I was talking about. You could do a pack swap midair right here. Well, my arms are really like, I just don't have control over my muscles. Yeah, that's fine. I'll try to go for it again one more time. I'll try this one more time, and if I mess it up, I'll show you the alternative method, because this is it. Oh, there we go. Perfect. So then you can just camp proxy right here, and I mean you could just use the crosshair to see where you need to go. But let's say you don't get that. Let's say you mess it up, right? Let's say you try to pack swap and you fall down and you're here. What you want to do is, I'm sure that if you wanted to, you could do a camp proxy and try to get up like that. But what you can also do, which is a lot easier too, come over here, shoot a decoy at your feet, face forward, and don't mess up the clip. There we go. And then you just keep double jumping. So there's a lot of alternatives with this. And if you fall down here, you can just camp proxy up. The great thing about this is camp proxies. But on top of that, like the pack swap midair feels great whenever you hit it, and if you don't, then it's fine. It loses a bit of time, but it's not that much time loss. It's like 5 seconds, I would say. Especially if you go for the other camp proxy setup that I just did off the rip. So yeah. And then all you do right here, you do the electrolyzer. I almost just messed it up. You do the electrolyzer followed by going to the coordinates and then just reloading. So Grelbin is Grelbin is a little difficult, I think. It's not really like, it's not too horrible, but to be a little bit fast, it requires like really risky setups. So, there's one safer setup that takes a little bit longer. Again, all up to you, preference, or if you want to go as fast as possible, then do it. I'll show both methods on how to XP farm. Sorry, I was taking a sip of my coffee. Okay. I'm just going to keep the thruster pack for simplicity's sake. You can throw a decoy if you want, just so that they don't hit you. And make your way over here. And now you want to perform 1 or 2 tiptoes, depending on how much height you get. And you come around this way. So, you want to initiate these protopets so they spit out more protopets. And there's one of 2 things that you can do. You can either do the really simple method of throwing a decoy and then throwing a spider bot and killing the enemies like this. But this is kind of slow, and there is a faster alternative. This amount of XP is fine to enter the cutscene with, but it's not. I mean, this is perfectly fine too. I mean, this is perfectly fine. Sorry, this is perfectly fine XP, but getting more is obviously better. So here's what you want to do: you double jump, you shoot a mini nuke, roughly in the middle of all the protopets, and then as soon as you shoot the mini nuke, you swap to the spider-bot glove. The one thing you want to make sure is that you're still in the air when you shoot your mini nuke, and that you have the spider-bot glove whenever you land. The game transfers all of the XP that the mini nuke would have gotten into the spider-bot, but only if you hit it in the right time. So I just shot my mini nuke. I'm gonna swap to the spider-bot glove, and you'll notice that it's leveling up my spider-bot glove. I'll do it one more time on these guys, for example. There you go. See? So it's up to you if you want to go for spider bots. Sorry, it's up to you if you want to go for the decoy and just killing them with the spider bot to be safe, or if you want to use the mini nuke in the middle of the air. So now, oh, what the hell just happened? I'm just glad that my stick isn't drifting. That being said, watch me get jinxed. But yeah. So now we're gonna go back, and now they're gonna give us like 3 times the amount of XP that they just gave us earlier. So again, I'm personally gonna go with the mini nuke strat just because the sake of time. So double jump, shoot, go to the weapons menu, pull out the spider-bot glove. Do it again. And now, is there? Okay, cool. So now what you can do, so you don't get the animation to play, double jump, shoot a spider bot, and then wrench swing. Like this. And then you kill them. There you go. And then you can also death abuse off them. If there aren't any left, you can use the card to go back. And there you go. That's Grelbin. It is, like I said, it is a little bit harder than it might seem because if you mess anything up, it is a massive mistake. So you want to make sure that you do this perfectly. You can get ammo right now or in Yeedil. Up to you. I'm gonna just do it now while I think about it. And now we're on our way to Yeedil. And Yeedil is a very hard planet for a lot of people whenever they first start. But I'm here to say that it's not that difficult. So the way I'd start this is I go over here, I double jump to get on top of these boxes, and then I double jump and get on top of this. Now I stick to the right side because the left side has an invisible wall, as you can. Oh, I guess I passed it already. But the left side does. Oh, there we go. See, has an invisible wall, so I stick to the right. Then I go up on this rock. There we go. And now I jump down and keep going down to this lower rock right here. Now I'm gonna hit a slope right here, wrench swing, and just do thruster pack double jump, and then a wrench swing whenever you land. I prefer mashing X so I don't end up wall bouncing. Like for me, it decreases the chances of me wall bouncing. So like this. Oh, I have a struck because I wrench swung too early. There's a bit of a timing method to it as well. There you go. So now what you can do the same thing right here on this rock, but you want to make sure that you do not fall between these two rocks. If you do, you will die. So you can do it right here, or you could just hyper strike right there, like I just did. But you could just like, and let's say you didn't want to go for that, you could just go up here and then just double jump and glide. It's up to you how you want to deal with it, wherever you feel more comfortable with. There's a lot of alternatives. Just make sure that you do not go in that crevice between the two. Right? Now you want to go up here. You can go on this rock, but you're not really going to be able to cover the distance that well or safely. And I think you could probably get on top of that rock right there anyways. But what I prefer doing is look almost exactly where this is, like where my crosshair is. Oh, talking about stick drift, and now it's happening again. But you can line Ratchet up right here, and then you just forward jump. There you go. You want to keep making it through, and right here you want to still keep making it through. And then you want to go up and just keep holding forward. And then once that happens, you just glide into this room. And now is probably the part that a lot of people hate. And I completely understand. However, there's still a really easy way to deal with this. So let's say that like you're having a tough time setting up everything, and the enemies are shooting you whenever you enter. So you can throw a decoy right here. And let's say that you're like overdoing it. If you're right here, the enemies will not spawn, but you'll still get shot by these guys over here. So you want to be able to set it up safely. Well, if you want to do that, go up on this slope and just shoot a decoy. They'll just keep looking at that decoy. And they just kind of like chill out. So anyways, now you want to line up to this corner as much as possible. I want to make sure they aren't shooting me. Okay. So you want to line up to this corner as much as possible, and then keep holding forward like this, and then do a double jump and just glide. There you go. Ledge grab. I'm just getting stick drift, so let me fix that real quick. It's actually faster to do camp proxies, and I think that these are easier anyways. But they're a bit more specific. So you would set up the camp proxy as usual, like this. And then you want to do the camp proxy of L1 forward and circle. And then you want to tap L1 and double jump away and around this pipe up here. There's a pipe right up there, and you're going to bonk it. But if you double jump back a little bit and then around the pipe, it's pretty easy to get around, like this. There you go. Now you want to double wrench swing, preferably. Turn Ratchet around like this. And then you're going to do what you've done before in Todano and Aranos, where you wrench swing once or twice. Actually, I think this time you have to do two. And then you do a double jump. There you go. Now you can do either another camp proxy, or you can do a decoy clip, which you go in the corner, and then you just shoot a decoy right at your feet and wrench swing through the wall. Now, what you want to do, if you want to get the camera straightened out, you can. You see those guys right there? We're going to basically, from this direction, it's like down left. But we're going to try to get into the room. And right before we get into the room, we're going to try to shoot a decoy in a wall. Like this. So, like, you notice there's that screw right there to the right of where Ratchet is right now. That's a good visual cue. And you don't need to worry about overshooting the decoy because it actually bounces off the wall. So there we go. I'm inside the wall. and let's say it's on the edge and you think it might be broken by your prototype, you can throw another one right here as well. Now the enemies will be distracted on it, and what you can do, you just pull out the swing shot, come over here, use it, kill the tank, and there's two things that you can do, and I'll do the easy one. What I would do in a run is I would basically dart past everyone and shoot them once with the lancer so they get knocked back, or you can use a mini nuke. But this is a slower but way easier alternative if you feel like you're having an anxiety attack doing that. You spawn them, they aggro, and then you just fall down. You stand still so all of them come down. And now they're not doing shit. So now you can just dart past them pretty easily.
This is it.
Smile.
Okay. So the prototype is pretty easy. You want to be on this corner, which you can get to like you just saw with a forward jump with a thruster pack. And now, what you want to do is as soon as you hit this rim, the prototype fight will start. You kind of want him to be like this, where he's a bit farther away, because you want him to aggro as late as possible, so you have more time for the ammo box to spawn. So what I'm gonna do, once I initiate the fight, you can tell by the health bar popping up. I back up just a little bit so I don't get ran over, so I don't get like rolled over, and I go into L1 and I cut off. So the way that this works, there's gonna be two ammo boxes. There's gonna be one right here or one right there. And the way it works is based off your camera. So if I cut off the camera right here, there's only one spot that the ammo box will spawn in, which is of course right here. However, it would apply if they're both on the screen like this, it's a chance. So you wanna look to the left as soon as you start the fight. So start the fight, cut the camera over here, and then I just keep holding L1, and as soon as the box spawns, just shoot at it. Like that. Sometimes he'll do 2 or 3 bounces, but never 4 in the first phase. He won't do 4. So I know I got a 3 bounce. So now what you want to do, you want to be a bit farther back, like over here, because he has a pretty big hitbox. So now what you do, similar to what you did with a mini nuke, you double jump, shoot a spider bot, you go into the weapons menu and pull out any weapon. Now you unpause and then pause again and go back to the spider bot and shoot another one. I messed it up. Trying to explain it. There you go. And that's spider bot stacking. Flashing warning. I'm not going to spam too much because my arm is really hurting right now. But yeah, I mean, he just kind of gets shredded. You don't need to worry too much about like being slow or whatever. He's more than likely going to be stuck in that corner. There you go. So this guy took a little bit longer than I expected to make it, but that's perfectly fine with me. So in conclusion, there's only a couple splits that I would say are definitively hard at every level. I would say let me go to my ship just to like make sure I'm not skipping any over any levels. The shop club can take some use to getting some getting used to. With the setup I have, where like I said, you're slightly to the right of the middle of this the inner square, and as long as you're slightly tilted to the left, most of the time you should be able to clip. It takes a lot of getting used to though. Maktar is very easy. Endako is pretty difficult, admittedly, and Barlow's difficult if you're going for race skip. Feltzin is just RNG. But Notak is pretty chill. I don't think tiptoes. I think tiptoes are hard to learn, but as soon as they click, they click. Siberius is very easy. Tabora is very easy. Dobbo is very easy. Hrugis is easy. Todano, depending on your route, can be pretty easy or pretty hard. Boldan's pretty easy. Aranos is pretty easy if you do the Clank section, which I recommend it to do if you are a beginner player. Um, A2 Ratchet only saves 20 seconds, actually now 30 seconds, and the strat is really hard. Um, Gorn is a little hard, but it's easy depending on how things play out with the route that you do. Like I said, 2-2-2-4. Snivelak is hard, but there are setups that you can do. And as long as you spam decoys on the bridge, then you should be fine. Smolg is pretty easy because of camp proxies. Grelbin, you just want to make sure that you are leveling up the spider bot and that you're not so close to the enemies that the nanotech kills them. And Yeedil is pretty easy, at least to me. If you throw a decoy in the wall, it's not hard at all. Didn't mean to rhyme right there. Um, but if you and then I think the biggest changer though is using the swing shot and then letting the guys come down, and then they are either looking at you or the decoy, but you can just throw another decoy so they're distracted on that instead of you, and you just start past them. So, anyways, I hope this guide was more in depth than my previous ones. Um, I hope to see more runners of this category. I think it's very underrated. I'm glad that Zem is running it, and that Scotto is getting a lot more attention to it. I have a 40-minute time right now. I'd like to get a 39 pretty soon. But right now I'm just in a bad state, so um I don't really have any like ambitions to improve my time right now. Um, but I would like to see some more new faces to this category. It's sick. Um, and yeah, I don't know. I love it. So hopefully this guide is good enough for people who want to start running it. All right, goodbye.